There we go. Okay, so now the sound should be on. Yeah, this was a totally unprepared live session here. So just kind of at the last minute decided to just turn on the camera. And since I'm already here sewing, I might as well just turn on the camera and just start sewing, or just do a live session and have just talk to people. I'm actually here just I'm sewing some 9 patches together for a future project that, well, you'll be seeing it on the Treasure Heart Creations channel. So I figure I need to get a jump start on that. But yeah, just wanted to just check in and do a late night live sewing. I've been getting tongue-tied all day. Late night sew session done. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. And oh, okay, gotta get the iron ready. How is everybody tonight? You guys are up late. Are we all winding down in bed and we just started to do some YouTube hopping? Or are we actually quilting or working on some projects? Again, I'm just sewing some 9 patches together just for a future project coming up. Let's see who checked in today. So we got Living and Crafting with MS. Hello, hello. We got McBev here. Hello, good evening. Donna Hoskins. Hey, hey, hey. Miss Gayla, how are you? And Barb McKinley says, what? And Jackie is here. Hello, Jackie. Irish Sail Lady. Hey, everyone. Background quilt looks great. Well, thank you, thank you. That is the completed Farmer's Wife quilt. Well, sort of completed. I still have to get it quilted and bound. But I'm still debating on whether or not I want to put a border on it. I did take some pictures of it, and I will be sharing that all over Instagram. Instagram and Facebook. So if you're on Instagram, it's at Treasure Heart Creations, and if you're part of the Facebook group, you'll be seeing it very shortly. I love this color, lavender. Isn't that pretty? What is everybody up to tonight? You guys are all late night crafters, I guess, huh? Or maybe everyone's on the West Coast and it's still, ooh, it's almost 9 o'clock. Hello, hello, Miss June Hansen. And Pink E is waving hello. Diane Wilson, hello, Diane. Amy C, hello. So glad Donna reminded me of you. Oh, thank you for that. I need another white one. Yes, yes. I was actually trying to reach out to Donna because gosh, over a year ago, you know, I had promised Donna to actually come and join her on, and she wanted to do an interview. And at the time, it was just not good timing because I was planning to move. And it was also a, shall we say, the busy time of the year. Well, actually, right now it's the busy time of the year. What am I talking about? But I didn't forget about her. So I did recently reach out to her to say if she's still interested in doing something together. And so she said yes, but we are having a bit of a breakdown in communication because I emailed her, but I can't seem to get her email. So I need to call her. But in the meantime, you know, Donna had some health issues that she needed to deal with, which is why it's been taking us this long to get together. But I said at the beginning of 2025 that this was going to be the year where I do I complete some open-ended things, and this was one of them. So I said to myself, I need to make good on this promise. So I reached out to Donna, and yeah, we're gonna try and do something together. Whether it's an interview, whether it's a project, I don't know. But stay tuned. And if you don't know who I'm actually talking about, it's Donna. Her YouTube channel is Handmade by Ying, in which she's a fun gal. She's a fun gal, I will say. She's my people. Okay. Let's see. Jackie says she is just chilling. Jackie, what's the temperature in your area? Because it is starting to really get hot here. There's still some snow on the snow-capped mountains, but oh boy, I was feeling it today. Well, partially because I took a 4-mile walk, and but yeah, I haven't done that in a long time, and don't ask me why I decided to do it today in the middle of the day, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. I mean, it was nice for me to get some good exercise, get my steps in, 4 miles worth, but still. Sorry, let me turn the camera a little bit this way. There we go. Just turn the sewing machine off for the night. That's Irish Sail Lady. Oh, I'm gonna try and spin these seams. There's one. So I'm just making this 9 patch again for a future project coming up. And I'm gonna make varying 9 patches where the squares are gonna be different sizes. But each of these squares, well, I want to make a, what are these, 1.5? Yep. So this will be a 1-inch, stay. This will be 1-inch finish squares. So yeah, I'm going small. Okay. Let's see. Nice haircut, Eric. Well, thank you, Barbara. I figure since the temperature is going up again, the hair's got to come off. Okay, got that one. Oh, hold on. I gotta sneeze. Hang on a second. Okay, it doesn't feel like it's coming out. Ugh. Don't you just hate that feeling when you know you gotta sneeze and you can't get it out? Let's do a dark. Actually, let me do a blue one here. Is that the wrong? No, that's the wrong side. So yeah, so as I was saying, today I decided to take a walk, which ended up being a 4-mile walk. I actually feel fine. I need to actually get back into the rhythm of walking again since the weather is cooperating, and it's not as well, it's not It's not unbearably hot yet, but it's also not super duper cold either. So it's nice weather to just be out and about. Um, Later on, maybe right around starting in May or in the dead heat of summer, yeah, that's when you just really don't want to be outside. So I figure I got to get my steps in, make up for time lost during winter, and make up for the time that I will lose during the summer. Now, I do know that there is a group of people, hikers mostly, who actually do some hiking during the summer. And I say that is crazy because it's over 100 degrees at some times. And yes, it's a dry heat, but still, that's just crazy to be out and about at that when it's that hot. Although I do know quite a few people that will actually do that. And well, they take the safety precautions with sunscreen, making sure they got ample water and such. But still, it's kind of crazy to be doing that. Not that I would recommend it. Listen to me, I'm just rambling. What is everybody up to? Just got up from a nap. That's Carissa. Hey, Carissa. And that is not the right size. Let's see. Living and Crafting with MS says, I got the fabric that I will be using when I do a video on Donna Jordan's Drop Diamonds. So she's just taking a break from piecing here in South Dakota. Where's the other? Yeah, you know, I started collecting these 1.5 inch squares. Because I mean, I'm just hate to throw away a fabric unless it's really not usable. I mean, even my undesirable fabrics, I will use it up or just send it to a home where it can get used. Because, I mean, let's face it, fabric is not getting any cheaper. So it's going to be more and more important that we make our choices wisely and use it up to the maximum, right? This is not the same fabric. There it is. No, I gotta cut this one down. Because that is not 1.5. That's bigger than 1.5. That was 1 3/4. Huh. So right before I was on live, I was actually filming a video for ya. I'll be spending most of tomorrow just editing stuff. Won't say what the video is about yet. Have to leave a little bit of mystery, right? Let's see. And hello, Miss Claudette. Living and Crafting with MS says it's 29 here in South Dakota. Ooh, still kind of cool. Are you using scraps or yardage for your blocks? These were scraps. A lot of this was just cut off pieces from this quilt, The Farmer's Wife. So as I was cutting pieces for that, if I had a scrap piece left over and I could cut a 1 inch or 1.5 inch square, that's what I was using. And I'm just spinning the seam here. I don't know why. I usually don't on a 9 patch, but for some reason I just feel like doing it. One of those odd things, I guess. Now if you don't know how to spin a seam, normally you can just kind of or if you know how to spin the seam, normally you can just kind of pop the seam and the threads come loose. But because I sew at a much more or much shorter stitch length, a lot of times the threads or the seam doesn't come popping open in the back, so I do have to kind of pick it out. And I will pick the seam there. I think that's it. Okay, so I've got, here's my top row. That'll be the middle, so the bottom row. Hello, Miss Elizabeth Collins from Atascadero, California. Okay. June Hansen says she is piecing batting together for a quilt. Oh, Franken batting. Hello, Miss Pat Strawhouse. Popping in for a while before she turns the lights out. Well, thank you for joining us here. Yeah, just this was kind of a last minute YouTube live session that I just said, hey, you know what? Since I'm already here, I mean, camera equipment is just permanently stationed as it is, so I can just turn on the computer, go on live. And I said, you know what? I'll bet you there's a few people out there that are late night crafters. So who knows? This might actually, I've been kind of thinking about it, and this might be a regular occurrence where I might just kind of come on a Saturday night, late night, and turn the camera on. If I'm sewing or making something, I'll just turn the camera on and just do a live session. Yeah. When was it? A couple Sundays ago, I was actually testing out some things, and I just said, well, I don't think there's anybody who's gonna, I mean, if I did a live, I don't think there's anybody who's gonna be out there. But to my surprise, there was a handful of people that showed up. And I was just testing some new equipment and new software. So I said, maybe I could be onto something here. Wait a minute. Did I just sew 2 of them? Yeah, I just made 2. Okay, so this will be on the next block then. I made an extra middle row. Let's see, Elizabeth Collins says she is working on a K England pattern called Let's Do This Again. Okay, she's working on a K England pattern called Double Dozen. I'm doing this with my friends who lives in South Dakota. Okay. You know, Kay England, I've been kind of watching some of her videos and rewatching some of her videos, and there is one particular pattern. Do I have the block? No. There is one particular block that she showed on one of her videos called Tuscan Windmill, in which I thought that was so interesting. I actually made a sample of it, and I think I want to make a whole quilt of just that block. So, and of course, I'll take you guys on for the ride too. Okay, let's go a little bit scrappy. So we'll do light and we'll do the dark. Let's do a dark. Yeah. Make this one a little scrappy. Oh, I know what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to make that the bottom. That's why. Sewed it wrong. Okay, well, just do another one. And we'll put this one, start another row. I don't like that fabric, so let's go with these. This is what happens when I don't lay out the block first. Tend to get all mixed up and start sewing stuff wrong. But that's part of the fun, right? Let's see. Diane Watson says she's working on a Revelations quilt Starburst Sushi. Okay. That's an interesting name. Carissa Renninger says she's pulling out stitches in the binding so I can put a hanging sleeve per request from my mom. After you got it bound, really? Then she wants to put a hanging sleeve? I would have just got one of those shower, no, what do you call those curtain things with the ring, and then you put the clip and just done it that way. But it's mom. I understand, yeah. Diane Watson says, on units that small, I always press the seams open. I tend to do that too. Just, I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm just not doing it on this. But yeah, normally, if it's this small, I would be pressing them open. I would agree with you on that. So I have another one that is, let's see, where's the other 10? No, I don't. Okay, do I have a square of that color? Yes, I do. Is that the same one? Yep. I'm going to just use this 2.5 inch square just to make the last one there. So I can at least get that 9 patch all matchy-matchy. So this one will go with this one, and then I'll do the bottom row for that. Hey, Janice. Good to see you too. Hi, Lori. And hello, Suzanne. Would stay and watch, but way too tired. Okay, well, thanks for stopping by. Lori Clark says, I'm seam ripping, wrong border on wrong side. Duh. Lori, we've all been there. Me more than others sometimes. Actually, what am I saying sometimes? All the time. You know, you would think that if I'm on here on YouTube, I would be perfect, but I am the first person to admit to you that I make so many mistakes. And you know what? I'm not afraid to admit it. Elizabeth Collins says, "Oh, I will be waiting and watching for Tuscan Window video. I have several of Kate England's older patterns. If you go on her publication website, she has a lot of free block units or downloads." Yeah, she started to get on my radar right towards the tail end of COVID, when I first discovered her YouTube channel. Um, I guess because well, I don't want to put words in or say some false facts, but I'm assuming that she used to travel a lot. And during COVID, of course, nobody had the opportunity of traveling and doing classes. So I'm assuming that's when her YouTube channel went on. Yeah, but she has a very, very, as a matter of fact, straight to the point kind of teaching style that's both entertaining and educational. So if you've never seen Kate England's videos, I would definitely recommend her channel because, yeah, she's just kind of straight to the point, honest about it, and kind of comedic about it too. Okay, I can press this one. Hello, Miss Kim. Hi, Sherry. She says she's stopping in to say hey. Hello, hello. Susan says, I like the idea of using muffin tins to organize smaller squares. You know, I got these muffin tins at the Dollar Tree, $1.25. Can't go wrong with that. I actually got this idea from watching Lori Holt's videos, where she actually has those vintage muffin tins and she keeps her squares kind of organized in that way. And I thought that's a pretty good idea. So I started doing the same and see if it works for me. And thus far, it seems to be pretty handy. I mean, it's thin enough where, you can kind of slide it anywhere. I mean, it doesn't take up too much space, and I can just kind of stack it. So I have another muffin tin here where I can just kind of stack it up. And well, this one's empty, but that one's going to get full sooner or later. And you can kind of stack it and then just keep it on a shelf somewhere, or just keep it next to me here. When you're ready to work on projects like this, you just take the whole muffin tin out and there you go. Just pull out your pieces that you need and start going. So this is part of that. Okay, no. Come on. Trying to line up the fabric there. Now, some of these squares are not cut perfectly, but I really don't care. This is one of those projects where it's not going to matter if the points line up. I mean, I'm not giving away the quilt anyway. So, what color shall we do next? Let's do a mixture of, you know what, I might as well use these up. try and pop that one open. Oh, it worked. Well, not quite, because I can still see the thread there. So let me pick that out. And we'll pop this one. And I will attach the last one row, and we have another one done. Just trying to get the seams to nest there. Good night, Susan. Thanks for stopping by. Hello, Miss Suzanne Taylor. Glad you made it here tonight. Let's see. Let me scroll down. I know all the comments came in. And people talking to each other. So Lori Clark says, hubby just found Simon and Garfunkel on TV. House is rocking, 12 o'clock. Oh, gosh. And Kim says that she has her Rose Table Runner quilted and bound. Good job, Kim. June Hansen says, I just about have my batting piece together, then I can quilt it. Okay. Hello, Michelle the Quilter. Kim is saying, I had some really loud thunder earlier, but no rain. It's on the way, though. Well, stay dry, Kim, and stay safe. If there's thunder, there's bound to be lightning. Oh, well, that one just split apart real easily. And so did that one. Almost. And just pick apart the threads there. There. It'll lie flat now. And that one will also go flat. I should actually... Okay, truth be told, I should actually be working on some other project, but I really don't want to. I just want to sew. Procrastinating again. Yes, that's me. Muffin tins, very clever resource. Yes, Elizabeth. So again, Dollar Tree, $1.25. Muffin tins, and great for storing little small pieces like this. All right. So, oh wait, pressed it the wrong way. And let me do the center, which will be, I'll do a dark one. You know what, I didn't actually do a full complete one of this, so let me just do we'll do a white square on this side, and I totally sewed the sides wrong. Oh boy. Sewed it on wrong. Well, at least this is not a very long seam here. I mean, it's only 1.5 inches, so. Elizabeth says Central Coast in California is supposed to get rain tomorrow. Well, that's a good thing, right, Elizabeth? I mean, California's been in a drought for so long. Hopefully it doesn't rain too hard, though. Because usually in California, when it decides to rain, it downpours badly. Okay, let's sew this on right now. So right sides together. We'll finger press that back, and then we'll add the final square here. And we'll put the white on there. Press this back. And let's see, we'll get the next one started. One, two. Let's do this. Well, we'll just do something very scrappy and very multi-blue colored. I'll get rid or use up all these blue triangles. Use up all these blue squares. And I need to line this up a little better. Barb McKinley says, I often use plastic fruit containers to put fabric pieces and small blocks in. I used to use those, the plastic egg containers. You know, if you, when I pick up the 18 count of large sized eggs from Costco, I used to take that plastic container and use that for storage on small pieces, but kind of figured that, you know what? It's hard to wash those things out. And plus it's plastic. I wanted a little bit more of a permanent solution, something a little bit more sturdy than that kind of flimsy plastic. So that's when I got these muffin tins. And again, thus far, I mean, I wish if I had a full 9 tin muffin tin thing, that might be a little bit better, but you know, this seems to be working for me for now. And again, I got three of them, so it's easy to just kind of stack one on top of the other. And I mean, it does kind of compress the fabrics a little bit, but it's not so much to the point where the fabric or these squares are going to get distorted. So I'm happy with it for now until something better comes up. I don't know. Hello, Miss Nancy. Hello, hello, Miss Tiffany. You're up late. I thought you'd be in bed by now. Or maybe are you watching from bed? Nothing more fun than picking out a seam. So, I could share this story. I was, lately I've been just watching various, I don't want to say stupid, very ridiculous videos on YouTube of like blooper reels. And, um, the show Family Feud. Not the original one, the one where Steve Harvey is now the host, the more recent one. They've been compiling videos or doing like a video compilation of some of the most outrageous and silliest answers that people have given to some of the questions. And they've been putting these compilations out on YouTube, and I've been watching them just for pure entertainment. So, on one of the clips, the question is, name something that usually follows the word pork, P-O-R-K. So, people were given answers like pork loin, pork chop, pork shoulder. Then we have this really bright-eyed college student. And the question, again, Steve Harvey repeats the question, name something that usually follows the word pork. The guy's answer was cupine. And Steve Harvey's face was like, huh? What did you say? And he had to repeat it. He said, cupine. So what he's intending to say was porcupine. And of course, Steve Harvey just read that one and ripped him a new one, because he says that might not be the number one answer on the board, but that's the number one. It's going to be the number one answer on YouTube. And he was right. Pretty darn silly. Tiffany says, I'm trying to work in my fabric room through a migraine, so I'm mainly just listening. Okay. I would be in bed if it wasn't for my head, but I needed a physical distraction for fabric petting. Okay. So, what was another answer? Okay. So, another answer, or another stupid answer, was name a job that is very dirty, but somebody's got to do it. The guy's answer was a gynecologist. Now, I wouldn't know how dirty that job is because, hello. But I just found that one funny. There are 8 loaf pans that have multiples of squares or rectangular pieces. Okay. Suzanne Taylor says, oh yes, Eric, I've been watching them. It's hilarious. Yep. Pork rinds. Yeah, he could have said that. Cleaning my sewing room. That's a good answer, Lori. What was the other one that was outrageous? Oh, okay. So the question is, name something that a robber would not want to be surprised by if they were breaking into a home. Or I think that it was something along the lines of that. Name something that you wouldn't want to see as a robber. Something like that. And this guy just kind of screamed out, naked grandma. And Steve Harvey's reaction was like, what? And then the player from the other team kind of just goes and shakes his head and like, I wouldn't want to see that either. Silly, silly, silly. They used to have some funny ones on Real Fortune and Jeopardy as well. I'm guessing it's way different when you're under pressure in that kind of situation. Yeah, I guess so. But still, I mean, just to come up with those answers on the fly of the moment. What was I doing with this one? I better, knowing me, I'm gonna poke myself with that. Do I have any more of the dark blue? I know I got some somewhere. Right here. I'll just cut a piece of that off. What was another one? Oh, fill in the blank. So this was actually a Celebrity Family Feud episode. And so it was Snoop Dogg on, it was the final round. And so it was a fill in the blank question. So the question was fill in the blank, pie in the blank. And what Snoop Dogg says was pie in the horse. I'm like, who ever heard of that expression? I sure as heck haven't. The one I have heard is pie in the sky. But pie in the horse? Pie in the face, that would be another one. Friends bloopers will bring a smile or a giggle. Oh, yeah. I love watching those blooper reels too. There was one, it was actually a prank that the cast did. I think it was David Schwimmer and the little boy that played the son, in which they played a prank on Jennifer Aniston, where they pretended that David Schwimmer fell down the stairs, and in reality, they actually just got a mannequin and threw the mannequin down the stairs. But Jennifer Aniston didn't know, and she totally freaked out and started screaming. Sad to hear about oh gosh, what's his name now? Can't remember. The guy who played Chandler. Can't think of his name. course, I didn't know it at the time, but I was totally in love with Matt LeBlanc. And he played Joey. Let's see. My favorite was the first ads for Canadian Family Feud. What is Popeye's favorite food? Answers chicken. Oh gosh. What's the whoops. Okay, so if you joined in late, I'm just sewing these 9 patches. Well, obviously you can see that. And it's for an up and coming project that I will be sharing. Well, yeah, I'll be doing it on YouTube sometime or for a future video. Let's just put it that way. As you can see behind me, I did finish the Farmer's Wife, or putting together the rows and the quilt top together for the Farmer's Wife quilt. So I'll be posting pictures of this quilt top on various social media platforms. So if you want to see the whole thing in its entirety, you can watch for it on Facebook. And I'm starting to do a little bit more on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, or IG, as the young kids call it these days, you can look for it there too. Good night, June. Kimber says, I've been watching the uploads of the old Match Game with Gene Rayburn. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Match Game, that's right. They used to have some very racy answers on that. Especially with Betty White on there. Oh gosh. She... What was the other game show? Oh, Super Password. A lot of times, the blooper reels that I've seen, it had Betty White where she would look at the password, and then the first thing she would say is the password. And then she realized, oh, I shouldn't have said that. What was the other one? Oh, the $20,000 pyramid. If you got your grandkids around, cover their ears for this one, because it's a little bit of an adult joke. So, $20,000 pyramid, the original one with Dick Clark. I guess the answer was things that are hard. So the clues that the celebrity was giving to the contestant was rocks. He said wood. He said metal. Then out of the blue, he said a man's penis. So the women contestant said things that my husband can't get up. And when she said that, they had to actually stop the clock because everybody was just laughing so hard. Betty White, Richard Dawson, and Charles Nelson Riley were regular, and they were a riot. Yes, they were. Okay, that's about as flat as I can get it, so I still feel a lump in there somewhere, but we'll press it out. Yes. Oh my, Elizabeth, that's right. Kimber says, I have 3 shoe boxes packed full of 2.5-inch squares, thinking a disappearing 9 patch in that size could be fun. Could be also be challenging too in that size. 2.5. I guess, yeah, if you're looking for a miniature quilt. They just don't make them like that anymore. No, they do not. Remember the dating game? I wish they would do a modern version of that. Bachelor number 1. What other game shows was there? The Newlywed Game. There's clips on YouTube of funny answers for that. I just don't remember any of them offhand. I don't know. If there was a game show that you would want to see revived, what would it be? For me, I think it would be, well, the dating game. What game shows did I used to watch a lot of back in the day? What's the show with the whammies? Press Your Luck. That's the one. I did it with 2.5-inch disappearing 9, and it was tiny pieces. Yeah, I would imagine. And the Old Family Feud with Richard Dawson. Yes, of course, everybody had to kiss Richard Dawson when he comes by, right? That one was funny. Did you know they had criminals on that show, even a serial killer? Yeah, actually, that was I did know that. In fact, that was a topic of a video that I once saw, and I was like, really? They didn't vet these people? Well, again, it was the times back then were different too, but yeah, these days you can't trust people, or you gotta be able to do a little bit of background check on these people. Elizabeth Collins says, I liked Hollywood Squares. Oh, that's another fun show. Forgot what was the host's name. I forgot what his name was. Oh boy, I'm really going scrappy with this one. Okay, since that blue is there, I'll put this one and this one. Yep. Make one last blue one. And what time is it? Oh, wow. Almost, really? Over an hour already? Jeez. Time just flies by when you're having fun. Or doing quilty fun. Who knows? Maybe we'll do this on a regular basis where I just kind of come on late at night and start rambling. Press Your Luck with Julie Banks. No. Was she the host? I don't remember who was the host of that. Oh gosh. Press your luck. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Of course, when I was a kid watching that show, I'd be like, whammy, whammy, whammy. What am I going to do with this one? Let's do purple and center. I was just evil that way. Then this can go on the bottom. I'll do the red on this. No. You know what? I'm just going to do that one there. So I can sew a white one to this. Okay. I'll do a few more and then we'll call it a live session. Or unless, I don't know. Unless you guys are enjoying yourselves and want to stay on longer. I don't know how many of these I need to make. Well, I guess I should start counting, huh? We'll do this, and we'll do another lavender. Now I'll match this with the blue somehow. This can go in the center of this one. Whoops, sorry about that. The camera is cooling itself down. Lingo was Chuck Woolery, right? Actually, I don't think I've ever saw Lingo. Never heard of it. Lingo, do I remember that? I like your late night lives. Okay, Diane. We can be a little bit more informal when it's late at night, because by this time of the night, I'm kind of delirious and I will just about talk about anything. Oh boy. Suzanne Taylor says, I'm here for the long haul, Eric. Okay. I'm up for it. I've got a lot more stitches to pull. That's Carissa. No, actually, I do need to get busy on this project that I'm trying to avoid. So, but I just don't want to do it. Well, at least I can. It is a video project. So at least I should just kind of get the video footage uploaded and off the memory cards, which usually takes a while anyway. So oh, I should actually do I have it? Yeah, it's over there. I was attending last Saturday. I actually attended a quilt show locally here, and so what I can show you was I did make a few small purchases, in which one of them I absolutely love, and the other, I don't know. I'm gonna try it, see how I like it. So I can show you that. Another good one was Tattletales, but Covey hosted. It was Married Celebrities. I heard of the show. I've never actually watched an episode of it. So if you do find one, Kim, on YouTube, or maybe I can just look up on my own, but if you do find one, let me know. Okay, where's my water? Okay, and I will be right back. Let me grab the bag so I can show you what I purchased at the quilt show. Move that back. Ooh, it is warm. It is definitely warm. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And I forgot that this microphone is wireless so you guys can hear me. Found it. Found this. And this. And here's the bag. Heading back, heading back, heading back. Okay. So mini haul from the Desert Quilters. No, what was it called? Quilt Las Vegas 2025. So I've always been partial to the Martelli rotary cutter, but I've always wanted to experiment with a weighted rotary cutter. So went ahead and actually purchased this. This is the Quilter Select. And when I held it, because they did have a sample, you know, an open packaged or an open one, where I was holding it in my hand, it felt actually really good. So I figure I'm going to give this a try. Does anybody use this rotary cutter? Because, I don't know. I want to hear what your guys' opinion is. And let me just kind of, I'm just going to open it right now. Because if I don't open it now, I never will. So, yeah, it feels really comfortable. One of the reasons why I do like the Martelli cutter is because I tend to hold rotary cutters, even before I even bought them or started using the Martelli. Whenever I had one of these rotary cutters, I would always hold it like this anyway and cut the fabric. When I first discovered the Martelli cutter, yeah, I mean, this was, for me, it was very, very natural to hold it like this. I know for some people, this hand position is very awkward, but I mean, it was no problem for me. Now, I do have bigger hands, and so for me to do this, yeah, I was always afraid that I was going to put my hand or my finger right on the blade. So having the Martelli cutter like this, very, very comfortable. No, but the problem that I do have sometimes with the Martelli cutter is that it's so light and I kind of press down. And after when you've been cutting for a while, you know, if you cut a whole quilt, you know, your hand just gets sore, even with the Martelli. So the weight on this feels really good. And when I was testing it, because they also had like small samples of fabric where you can kind of cut with it. When I was testing it, felt really, really good. And you can do this, I think they said you can do it right-handed or left-handed, whereas with the Martelli cutter, you can only do it with one hand. So that's the advantage of something like this, but this feels really good. So I'm gonna give this a try and we'll do a comparison of the two. Amy says, ooh, I really like that rotary cutter. Okay. Mary just got one of those, Eric. Oh, Mary, are you here? Living and Crafting with MS says, I have the 60 and the 45 and I love them. Okay. Carissa says, I just got a new one that has ball bearings in it. So the blade actually spins around and cuts it like butter. Wow. Amy C says, I like the weight, grips well in my long hands, and I cut left and right handed. Okay. Kim says, I have the OFA Splash and the yellow OFA so far. They work okay with my hands. Okay, what was the cost? This one was a little bit more on the expensive side. So this Quilter Select is $65, believe it or not. The Martelli was way cheaper, but this is a 60. This is only a 45. I do have a 60. I think the Martelli was half the price of that, to be quite honest. But I did notice, though, that the Quilter Select brand is a lot higher, even with their rulers. It's a little bit higher than what everybody else charges or all the other brands. But from what I hear, they're made of really, really good quality. And again, this is metal. This is just plastic, a hard plastic, but still plastic. So really, really good quality. Feels very durable. I mean, I can just drop it down and it's still probably, yeah, this is metal. This, I've dropped it a couple of times. The springs have come out. It is durable because I tend to just drop it like that. And it still works, but I do notice that the rubber piece here doesn't open as well. Well, it did for me there, but yeah, I struggled with that. So we'll see about this. I could be a convert, but I do like the weight of it, the feel of it in my hand. I might have to use it this way because, again, I'll be very hesitant about putting my finger right there. Well, at least there is a guard here to protect it, so we'll see. Yeah, so there is a guard here to actually protect my finger from touching the blade, and it exposes the blade at the bottom where you need it to be exposed. So, what did I just do? Whoops. Okay. There. Nope. Okay, I'll figure it out later. So that was one. Pin cushion. Isn't that the cutest pin cushion? When I saw this, I said I have to have one, and I don't intend on using it for an actual pin cushion. Whoops. But I just want to put it on my shelf as a decoration. I wish they made a pattern to make these. I don't know if there is a pattern available. And it's even got a little spool of thread right there at the top. Yeah, pin cushions. Now this one, they actually did charge a little bit more because these fabrics actually came from Japan, and she actually had to fly to Japan to get the fabric. So I said, okay, I can spare the $250 more. Yeah. So got that. I don't know what that is. Now, if I ever do purchase fabric at a quilt show, it's going to be something that you usually just don't find in your quilt shop. So I did find this, which I haven't seen this, and I don't know who makes it. Oh, this is a Robert Kaufman. Okay. Not something I usually find at quilt shops. Here's another one. Although I have seen this, but this vendor was actually giving off a very good price on it. So I said, okay. Northcott. And this is another Northcott. So can you tell I've been on a brown and red fabric buying trip since this quilt? Drove me crazy. So I'll be using this for an up-and-coming project. I'm not sure what I'm going to use that for, but I just thought it was a cool geometric pattern, so I said, okay, buy it. And let me bring it up closer to the camera so you can kind of see the pattern on there. Isn't that cool? So this will go into a project bin. I'm not putting it on the fabric shelf because I have every intent on using it. But I thought this was a pretty, like, it's almost like a golden brown kind of color. In fact, it's got little flecks of gold in there. So and then the other two I just kind of bought because I thought, well, you know what? If I ever need to make a quilt out of all of this, I mean, look at that palette. Why not? So, okay. And that concludes my fabric haul, or my purchase haul from the Quilt Las Vegas. I keep getting that name mixed up. I can never mention that name or say it right the first time. It takes me 2 or 3 times to actually say that. Quilt. I want to say Las Vegas Quilt Show. I know that's not the name of the show. Quilt Las Vegas. Okay, I'll put that back later. Okay. No, something fell down, I know. Okay, back to this. What was I going to do with this one? Oh, yeah, another white piece. Let's see, what other quilt shows am I thinking about this year? I thought about maybe going back to Houston later on this year. I think this year that show is going to be in October sometime. Usually it's that first weekend in November. But they're doing it a little early this year. It's right around mid-October. So I don't know, I'm on the fence with it because the last time that I went, when was it, 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, you know, of course we were still kind of just coming out of COVID. And the show, it was fun. It wasn't great, though. You could definitely tell that COVID really did hit the show hard. But comparatively speaking, between Houston and QuiltCon, there's benefits, or there's, how do you say it, pros and cons to each show, where I hate to say this, and I'm probably going to make enemies by saying this, but with QuiltCon, I wasn't so, I mean, the quilts were nice. They were very well made, but I don't I don't know. My aesthetic is not modern quilting. So QuiltCon I mean, when I looked at the quilts, yes, they were very well made. They're very high quality, but for me, they weren't so inspiring. I'm more on the art spectrum of things. So when I go to Houston, that's the type of quilts that I see there. It's the collage quilts, the art quilts, the painted quilts. And so I get more inspired by those, which is why I probably enjoy Houston a little bit more when it comes to the quilting or when it comes to the actual quilts. QuiltCon, however, it attracts a crowd that is more outgoing, a lot younger, um, and just plain and simply a lot more fun. Because you do have, I mean, these are people who are pushing the envelopes of quilting at QuiltCon. So with the Modern Quilt Guild and everything that they're doing there, it's just attracting a younger crowd. So of course things are going to be a lot more lively, a lot more fun to attend. And so for me, going to QuiltCon is more about being around that type of people. Where, this past QuiltCon, again, the quotes they were good. I won't say they were horrible, but they were good. But they didn't like inspire me like how some of these other content creators are saying, because again, they're into the Modern Quilt Guild and they're into the modern aesthetic, whereas I'm not. I would say I'm not. So not to disrespect anybody else and their opinions of it, it's just not my aesthetic. But I enjoyed QuiltCon because, again, because of the people that were there. So would I go to QuiltCon again? Yeah, I'll go. But again, it's not to be inspired by the quotes. It's actually just to be around friends. But yeah, I'm just kind of on the fence, or I want to go to Houston. I just don't know if I can swing it because I do have to go back home in June to Hawaii. Mom was giving me the call. Actually, she just called me. I got to call her back. But yeah, she's like, this is my father's 10-year anniversary since his passing. So she's giving the call to everybody to come back home and let's all celebrate. Celebrate somebody's death. Yeah. Let's all celebrate and just remember Dad. Because it was, gosh, I can't even believe it was 10 years ago that he passed. So, yeah, I got to go back home. And I just don't know if I can swing Houston. Although I wouldn't mind going back to Houston. Those are adorable. Thank you, thank you. Wow, nice choices. Thank you. I think I like some modern stuff, but I'm mostly artsy traditional. That's Carissa. Kimber says, I'd love to go to one of them, but they're so far away. Yeah. I was kind of realizing that for someone like me who's fortunate enough to actually go to and attend some of these quilt shows, I'd be doing other people or all of you a disservice if I don't show at least some clips of the quilt or of the show, because I know a lot of people out there can't make it to a show. And so I was kind of debating on whether or not I wanted to put like a full video about QuiltCon together. And I mean, everybody does that. So it wouldn't be, well, it wouldn't be something groundbreaking or something totally brand new, because we all kind of, I mean, I was kind of noticing that myself and a few other content creators who were there, we were all talking about the same quilts and we all liked the same quilts. Um, I wish Nadine was here because she had a different perspective of what quilts that she liked. Kimber says, I tend to be more traditional. Yeah. And you know, there's nothing wrong with if you're just a traditional quilter or if you're a modern quilter and such. I mean, nothing wrong with that. That's really personal preference. And again, I'm not saying that the quilts that QuiltCon were bad. I mean, they certainly were not. Some of them were actually very, very interesting. But again, for me, were they inspiring? Some of them were, but I would say overall, I really discovered that I'm not the modern quilt, or I don't have the modern quilt aesthetic. And that's just me. I'm more of a person that is like a quilt, like this farmer's wife quilt. I like to see a lot of different colors, a lot of colorful things, and I just find that the modern quilt or modern quilts in general are not like that. They're more monochromatic. And again, nothing wrong with that. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm just rambling. Tiffany is saying, I like all quilts and all styles. Quilts just inspire me. You know, Tiffany, you and I should actually go to Houston one year because you'll see a different side of quilting. Um, when I first went to Houston, I was just, my mind was just blown because of what artists are doing with fabric in general. Um, yeah. Not to say that, again, not to discredit QuiltCon, because there are people that are very creative there. I was kind of very interested in what all the quilting fashion with all the jackets, the outfits. That was quite interesting, but that's also something you wouldn't see as much in Houston, because again, more conservative people there. But yeah, if you want to go to Houston, Tiffany, let me know. Let's go. And maybe T and Kevin will join us. Lori Clark says, I had more fun at a museum display of quilts than a quilt show. Okay. So I'm guessing, Lori, you like antique quilts? Yeah. Actually, some of those museums can be, the collections of quilts that they have can be very, very impressive. One of the things that I really want to do is actually visit the International Quilt Museum in Lincoln, Nebraska, of all places. So I figure gonna if I'm gonna make the pilgrimage back to Hamilton, Missouri, I might as well kind of take a stop in a long detour to Nebraska and visit that museum. I've seen video clips. I've seen what they do. I've seen the collections that they have. And someone actually told me that you can volunteer to help them fold the quilts. So they will give you the white gloves and they'll teach you how to fold it. They take out, of course, you know, you have to take out the quilt and refold it. So that's what you'll be doing. So if I ever do go there, I'll spend the whole day and tell them, hey, I got a couple of hours to spare. Can I sign up to volunteer to fold the quilts? And hopefully they will say yes. But Let's see. Whoa. Okay, people have a lot to say about that. Barb McKinley says, I like some of the improv quotes I've seen, especially the houses. Who was it? Bernie? No, what's her name? Freddie. I think she was the one that started that trend. Let's see. Kimbera says the Liberty Memorial here in Kansas City has some fantastic quotes from World War One, and some belong to the soldiers. They're still stunning works of art. Liberty Memorial. I think I was. Oh, why does that sound so familiar? I think there was one year where I was planning to do a lot of museums. Because it was my first time in Kansas City. I just never actually got to do it. I do know that there is a World War One museum that, or some, yeah, I think it's World War One. Some museum there that I wanted to check out. Instead, I actually went to the Hallmark Center where got to see displays of old Hallmark cards, and yeah, that was it was, how do I say it? It was good for me to visit once. But would I go back again? I don't know. In fact, I don't even, is it still there? I hope it is. One of these days, I would like to go to St. Louis. Whoops. And visit the other side of Missouri. Of course, because, T is there, Kevin is there. Got a few, there's a few quilting friends that I know that are there. Ooh, let's play with this fabric here. There's actually a lot of states that I would like to visit for various reasons. Liberty Memorial is the World War One museum here. It's packed. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that one, Kim. It is the lift. And there's also the museum of, is it what, the toy museum that I read? Or something of that sort. Okay. Oh, I need to do one with just these yellows because there's a lot of yellow fabric pieces here. Do I have one? No. So hello, Denise. Yeah, go Huskers. So wait, Nebraska is wait, are they? Yeah, Huskers, corn. Who's the potato? Oh, Idaho. What's your favorite state? Idaho. Why is that your favorite state? Because Idaho. A little inside joke that that our friends used to do. And if your grandkids were listening, I'm sorry. Don't explain what that means. Black binding with black thread kind of sucks to see where it just finally got the front stitching undone. Oh, Carissa, you poor thing. But hey, it's mom's, right? So, gotta do it. If it's for mom, gotta do it. It's what me and my brothers tend to say. It's for mom, so let's just do it, even though we don't really want to. Do 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 do. Okay, there it is. Gotcha. Nope. Let's pluck this one out. There it is. Okay, got. Come on, slide in under there. Oh, there you go. Okay, this one's being a little stubborn. It doesn't want to come out. There, gotcha. Now you can lay flat. And this one can go on here. I can pluck this one out. Pluck, pluck, pluck. Like a duck, duck, duck. Now, what animal makes pluck sounds? Not ducks. Okay, and then last row for this one. Oh, did pretty good with that. We'll pluck this out because the seam don't want to come out. Okay. Good morning, Remo. pluck, 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 pluck. The Cadbury bunny. Yes, I did, Remo. It was getting to be too hot. So I said it needs to come off. And it did. Okay, so how many blocks did I actually get done? Well, I still have one more to do. Let me sew. Ooh, I forgot about these fabrics. I can make one with these. These were cutoffs from when I did the crane quilt. So they're all Asian fabrics here. Very pretty. Unfortunately, I don't have much left of the fabric, so I have to be a little bit more strategic with this one. And let's see what we got. We've got a lot of these. Don't have any more of that, so let's put this one back. I'll just do these for a moment, and I'll put the center with that. And right sides together. You know, on this white fabric, it is hard to see which, or it's hard to tell which is the right side and which is the wrong side. There is actually a print on the white fabric. No, I don't know if the camera will pick up on it, but there is an actual print. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it. So, okay, I'll make these two the last blocks, and oh, it's already 10:30 here, so it must be 1:30 on the East Coast. Well, we really are late night crafters, aren't we? What did I miss? Dog needed to go potty out in the rain. Carissa, what stays on live gets shown on the replay. No. Okay, so I will sew this. Oh, wait, press that out toward the dark, and we will line this up here. Speaking of disappearing 9 patches, what if I made one of these a disappearing 9 patch? Oh boy, I'd be crazy. Because this, I mean, if 2.5 inches was small, this is crazy small. It's possible, but geez. Then again, at quilt shows, you see people doing small piecing like this all the time. And yet they make like a huge queen size quilt out of it. Go figure why. Oh, I put it back. Already got that one. And sounds like somebody's dancing upstairs. I don't know if the mic is picking up on that. Good night, Tiffany. Hope your migraine goes better. Read my earlier statement. Oh, she's talking to Carissa. T is about 5.5 hours from me. That's Carissa. You can get my number from Mary. Oh, she's talking to Kim. Okay. Hey, Sandy. Just got home. So happy to catch you. Well, happy that you're joining me so late in the evening. Just decided to kind of turn on the camera and start sewing these 9 patches together. Again, for those of you who joined a little later, I am sewing these 9 patches for a up and coming project. So you'll see these again. Oh, I knew I had a purpose for that white square. But yeah, I don't know. I was kind of thinking maybe just doing a live every so often at a late night after everybody else is done for the day during their live sessions. I'll sneak on here because I know there's a handful of quilters and crafters that are on late at night because, well, this is our crafting time, right? Which would explain why things like the Midnight Quilt Show was a huge success. I used to stay up till, when was it, 9 o'clock at night, just so I can get the next episode. Because 9 o'clock on the West Coast is midnight on the East Coast. And that's when all the episodes were coming out. Or that's the time it was being uploaded or made public. Yeah. I don't think I lined up this as best as I could, but oh well, this is not really a very important quilt anyway. Okay, so since this is the last block I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna sew off on that piece of scrap there so I can take this off. Oh, turned out pretty good. Well, it is just sewing squares, and yeah. You know, making 9 patches, 2 patches, 4 patches, whatever patches, I got no problem nesting the seams. As soon as I do a half square triangle, that's when I start running into issues and trying to match up my points. There it is. Now it's separated. Okay, so this can... Come on. I know you want to come out. Okay, there. Got it. And let's get this one. Come on. Come on. Get this one out. One thing about spinning seams is it does take a few extra minutes to get the seam, but boy, these seams can lie really flat. So next you're just pressing the seam open. This is your next best guess or next best option to getting flat seams. Okay, last one, and we will call it a live session. How pretty. I love these Asian fabrics here. Lovely, lovely, lovely Asian fabrics. Okay. This is actually pretty good. Nope, didn't press it well. Just kind of smashed the seam there. So let me flip this. This is supposed to go the other way. And it flipped back. There, now we got it. Pull out that. And we'll pull out this. Come on, slide right under there. There you go. There we go. No, maybe not. Yeah, there. Oh, there we go. Okay. Put that back, put that in there. So let's have a look at all of the 9 patches that I did. So there's the last one. Like that one, like the blue. Let's lay it out. Oh, let me move this so I can move everything over so that you can actually see it all. There. Then I can put the rest of these right on top of it. So I can actually make a double 9 patch block. What do you know? Double 9 patch, because each of these squares is a 9 patch, and when I fill in with some other fabrics here in the empty spaces, that's another 9 patch. So a double 9 patch. So yeah. Okay. So hello people. Let's see. I'm about ready to get some iced tea. That's Kim Burris. Dear Mom, hello, hello. Eric, do you have the TUIA mini iron? I do not. I've actually never really heard of that brand. Carissa says, maybe I should make a YouTube channel just so I have late night crafters to talk to. You know, there's a lot of people that create YouTube channels just so that they do have people to talk to. Case in point, my good friend, Miss Katie, the Greenland quilter. I mean, she's in Greenland and not a ton of quilters in Greenland. So I think she kind of felt like she was by herself, which is why she started her YouTube channel, so that she can actually make connections of people around the world. And she's building her own community. So she'll come on live at various times, and she'll just start talking to people through YouTube's or through a live session like this. Who else did that? Donna did that. Donna, that's Handmade by Ying. Sean, we all do this because we want to connect to people and we want to help other people connect to each other, which is the whole reason why a lot of people like and enjoy the live sessions a lot. So yeah. Suzanne Taylor says Angela has it back on. Yes, I do see that she is going back with the Midnight Quilter. Not exactly the Midnight Quilt Show, but it's the same concept. So I was very happy to see that she's doing episodes again, and it kind of looks like she's got somebody helping her do the editing on the videos, which might be why she's doing it again. So glad to have her back, though. Does anyone have the Tulip mini iron? I finally got mine out of the closet and tried to use it, but it won't sing. Now, sorry, never heard of that iron. Yeah, don't know much about it. I found a big giant tote of Asian fabric, probably over 50 pieces, at least a yard in each one. Wow. Is it silk or is it just kind of these fabrics here that I used? It's not silk, but it's not cotton. I think it's like a cotton poly blend, but very pretty. So, what sizes are your blocks? These are going to finish at, well, they're going to finish at 3 inches, I think. Yeah, because 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So 3 inches finished. Not sure if I'm going to put it in a double, in a larger 9 patch or exactly how I'm going to use it, but I am going to use it for something coming up. So yeah. Oh, the Tula iron. Okay. That I have heard of. I just don't have it. Okay. I'm home by myself 90% of the time. I get bored. Well, Carissa, you may want to consider it. Kim Burris is saying her store is only about 30 minutes away from me. Oh, okay. So she's talking about Angela Walters. Quilting is my therapy, I think is the store name. Been there a few times. Cute quilt shop. It's very ornate, not silk, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, if there is a gentleman here besides me, that is it for tonight. This was kind of an impromptu thing where I just kind of said, okay, let's turn on the camera, let's turn on the computer, let's put the lights on and action, let's go. So I think, I don't know, maybe once in a while we'll do this. I don't think I'll be able to do this every Saturday night, but when I can and when I'm working on something, I'll turn the camera on and just start talking and start rambling on about different things that I was doing this week. Case in point, the porcupine. So yeah. I know there's quilters out there that are up and crafters out there that are working late at night. So maybe this will become a regular occurrence. Who knows? But yeah, we'll have to do this again sometime. All right, guys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will be it for tonight. I am going to work on the project that I've been holding off on doing that I really don't want to do, but I got to get done. So yeah, I have to get started on that. Want to thank you guys for joining me here tonight. I know it's late for some of you, but you're probably sewing something anyway. So it was good that you joined me here. Kept me company. We kept each other company. Have a great Sunday. And let's see, when is the next live? It will be on May 5th, next weekend. Yeah, May 5th is coming. Wait, today is the 29th. So yeah, next Saturday, April 5th. What am I saying, May? I skipped a whole month. Come on. April 5th will be the next live. That'll be Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And you'll get the whole schedule on the next video newsletter, which is coming out soon. That's the project I need to work on, but I kind of just didn't feel like doing some video editing, so but I will get that done and post it so that you guys will know the whole schedule of April. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great Sunday morning. Thanks again for joining me here tonight. And let's all just get out there and let's all create something. So, bye for now.